Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim coming to you this morning from Wawa. I'm back, and I waited till I slept in a little bit, and they open at 6. So I laid in the cramper there until it was time to come. It's still misty, raining. I'm going to get in the cab. We're going to have morning chat. I got a few things to talk about. Let's get at it. Welcome back, everybody. Sitting here in the crusher, drinking the best cup of coffee in the world. I've only had a couple of sips of it. It's the best. Slept 4 nights now in the cramper. First 2 nights, I was questioning, the comfort. First of all, I was sleeping on that velvet cushion that it has, and it's hard to move around at night. You're sticking to it. I did have a little sheet over it, though, that Jolene gave me for that trailer, that enclosed trailer I was sleeping in. Look at this. I'm going to throw this away. It's got some Clorox on my sleeve. Tacky, huh? But it's cold here in South Florida. I got a couple of these, and there's another one back there. It's just the first one I could grab. It's dark. I can't see, and I just wanted something on me. My shoes are soaking wet. It rained all day and night. Raining now, misting. We'll talk about the weather in a minute. So first 2 nights I didn't sleep all that well. You guys know I talked about it. Bought the memory foam topper and all the new bedclothes. Put the nice TV in there I got from Miss Joe. I want to call her Jolene. Oh my gosh. Man, I need more coffee. She's laughing right now. You forgot my name? I am having a problem right now. And I'm not going to continue this video until I think of her name. What's her name, everybody, that I bought the TV from, that bought my e-bike, e-scooter? God. Why am I having a hard time with it? Janine. I knew it was Jolene. It's Janine. We don't edit around here. Anyway, I didn't sleep well. I put the TV in there I got from Miss Janine. And I'll be awake in a minute. And the first night with the new stuff, I slept good, but I got up early. Had stuff on my mind. Last night, I had dinner late. It rained all day. I was very tired. I sat in the truck for hours, reading comments and looking at my phone and doing things. Doing nothing. I didn't do anything. I couldn't go to U-Haul and fill up the propane. I couldn't. The truck got washed by itself. I haven't organized in here yet. I couldn't be outside. It's mud, wet, nasty, rain. But I slept good last night, and I took no sleep aid. I do have some prescription that I'll take occasionally to help knock me out. And it does, but it doesn't keep me asleep, for the whole night. So they're worthless. But yesterday, after being tired, looked at the phone all day and not doing anything, Luke came home and did make some elbow pasta with some salsa. And I gave him a rack of ribs that I had in the Dometic here that needed to be cooked. They were fine. And he whipped them up. He made some, not chicken legs, but duck legs. You ever had duck legs? I had one. Wasn't my cup of tea. And he had a bunch of them on the pan that he put in that big oven he's got. The ribs come out great. I don't know what kind of sauce it was. It was a little different tasting than something that I buy. I buy that, not Ken's, but another brain cramp. Anyway, ribs, and then he made a coleslaw, and we sat there and ate well. And Teddy, he stayed sequestered all day in his place. He was trying to just stay out of the rain. There wasn't much to do in the shop. Tom, he came around. He got out of his rental car. Tom that's visiting from New York. Well, I was sitting in my truck. I saw him pull up. He got out. He walked around. He didn't see anybody. Nobody was at the tiki hut. Everybody's just kind of staying sequestered to where they can be out of the rain. And about 10 minutes later, I saw him get in his rental car. He just drove out. Nobody to talk to, nobody to play with. He was bored too, I suppose. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's a rainy day. A lot of people that do business outside, were put out of business yesterday. A lot of things that people didn't go and do and spend money on because of the weather cost them money. So it was one of those days. But what a consolation. If you live in Florida, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you may follow the weather, and it may be this way where you live. But I'm not kidding you, and I'm not going to exaggerate here. Starting tomorrow for the foreseeable future, you could not order better weather than what we are going to have here. I almost want to just cancel my whole trip and just sit right where I'm at. It's going to be 50s low, hour before sunrise, half hour before sunrise. That's the coldest part of the day. Cool evenings, 70 to 75, bright sunshine every day. I mean, it's like air conditioned. It's like California weather. It's going to be stellar, amazing. You can't get any better, folks. And it's actually a very similar forecast in Jacksonville. Slightly cooler, but beautiful days, probably 65 to 70. Here it's going to be 70 to 75. Mostly around 70. Only 1 or 2 days is even going to get to 75. It's going to be like 72, 73. I mean, wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's going to be beautiful. I will work out this morning at LA Fitness after I have this coffee and go over there. Then I'll shower. Then I'll go back and I will fill the propane. I will tidy up everything. I will do some laundry. I will do a lot of stuff I've got to do before travel and going to Jacksonville. There is a Daytona 500 NASCAR race in Daytona that was postponed. The 2 races they have on race day till today. Today, the rain is supposed to subside, but be completely cloudy the entire day. So we went from rain to drizzle to cloudy to stellar weather starting tomorrow. And if the rain will just subside, would be fine with me, even if it's cloudy. But it's going to be hard to dry out everything because there won't be any sunshine. So we're dealing with a mess. On the cramper, I do have to figure out a thing of, getting in and out of it. Put a little mat down. I'll buy a small one, like an RV mat, and a little doormat, a towel, to wipe my feet off, prior to getting in. I didn't have a mess last night. I was careful about doing it, but I need to rig up a little thing there, like I have with my big camper, to clean my feet off before going in. The inside of it, when I'm laying down and I'm looking around, is actually got it feels and looks larger. I watched a couple more videos this morning on YouTube where this guy's dedicated to teardrop trailers of all types. I joined a Facebook group of the Braxton Creek Bushwacker group that has the galley in the rear. A Bushwacker also makes a teardrop you can stand up in, like the new camps and other types of teardrops. I would probably say the vast majority of teardrops, they're not just small, but you can stand in them. They're just a taller teardrop. What I have is entry level, basic. But this guy pointed out some things that I have to concur with. I'm not trying to rationalize it, and maybe some of you out there that just don't know, that he went over the things that people say, like no bathroom, and he said, I don't want to use the bathroom inside. And in a teardrop, there's a certain truth to that. If you're by yourself, that's one thing, but if you're with somebody else in a small area like that, you're basically both in the bathroom with the door closed, and, you know, it's not quite so private. It was about the room. He said, you know, some of them small campers, for example, the Wolf Pup, you put two people in there, you're rubbing past each other when you walk by. And the teardrop was roomy. I don't know if I go along with that one. I mean, the Wolf Pup was definitely roomier. There was something he said, cooking outside. I completely agree with this because I don't even do it with my Flagstaff. You don't want to cook all that greasy smell stuff in your camper and have all that grease float around and lay on everything and get in the curtains and the fabrics and smell up everything. No. So cooking outside is more of being in nature and true camping, and having the galley there with all the things that you need. You have all the elbow room you need, and setting up like an easy up and a couple of chairs. You really do bring the outdoors into you. And I've heard this echoed by several people about, you know, it's used to be as a sleeping quarters. The kitchen in the back serves its purpose. And then you have like a tent or that room that I have, or an easy up you can set up, table and chairs, to where you're really enjoying the outside. You're more camping than being sequestered into a regular camper, where, you know, you may not feel as much of the outdoors. Hang on. Best coffee I ever had in my life. That's good. What was he saying? I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help some of you that I know look at it like I looked at it my entire life. Every time I videoed one, I would look at it and I'm like, so I get what you're saying. I even get your sarcastic remarks. You look at it and you say, coffin. I mean, what can you do with this? Look, you can't even stand in it. Look. Oh, this is what he said. Amenities. Well, you got the kitchen, you got the bed, that's an amenity. He said, is this one right here? That's a landscaper. Some of those amenities, you know, are unnecessary, lest to go wrong. You got air conditioning, you got a furnace, you got the bed, you got the galley, and, you know, you really have water, sink. You know, you do your business outside with the toilet. I got TV, stereo. It's really pretty neat. Somebody's left a comment last night that there's a recall on the bolts that hold the camper to the trailer frame, that they can pull through the floor and the trailer can come off the camper can come off the frame and crash and kill. Well, I don't have to worry about that killing me because I'm going to be driving my truck. I don't want to kill anybody else, and I'm going to look into it. The lag bolts or something like that hold the actual camper to the frame underneath, that Braxton Creek was replacing them with a bigger bolt and washer and lock nut and everything. So I have the number. I made a screenshot. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm not worried about it. It may have been already replaced and repaired, This is going back to 2020 and 2021. So, you know, the two owners that had it were maybe notified and had it done. It was free. Still free. So I'll look into it. I haven't heard of any stories of Braxton teardrop trailers coming off, going down the road onto the streets. So these recalls, you know, you get recalls on everything. But yeah, definitely want to check it out. But I'm not worried about it right now. I'm not freaked out about it. I'm not going to be going off-road with it, bouncing up and down and doing anything to loosen it. That's for sure. But when I get caught up in time, I'll look into that. And so, yeah, yesterday was weird. Everybody just kind of hid. And it wasn't the normal thing. Maybe for you as well. Maybe that was the way it was for everybody. But it was definitely different on the property where everybody just went, shh, you know, just finding their own place to hide. So today we'll all come out. Everybody's, you know, tired of being sequestered. We're all going to come around together again and talk. Tom will come over. I'll piddle around with everything. We'll get that race behind us today. If they can get the track dry and it doesn't rain, it just blows and it's cloudy, they'll get the race in. That crowd will be gone. And then, you know, maybe tomorrow with pretty sunshine and weather, it'll be fun. And I'll go tomorrow because I want to leave at a relatively early window, because I do not ever want to drive at night again, ever. I don't. So, you know, it's only a 4.5 hour drive. I got a big window there before dark. I can leave as late as noon. But if I piddle around this morning doing stuff and my laundry and everything, today's not going to be the departure day. I'm sorry I have to disappoint some of you, but there's going to be so much travel for my future. You're going to look back at this video and say, oh, yeah, I remember before he got started, he got postponed a week, a day or two or 4. And there's a guy that keeps leaving a comment, or a gal maybe, I think, actually, in California asking, are you going to go all the way to California? Heck yeah. I can go up Big Sur with this baby. And they said, great weather all week in Ocotillo Wells. Ocotillo Wells is where I used to go all the time with my sand rail from San Diego. It's not Glamis, the pure sand dunes. It's got more rocky and trails where I can actually ride the e-bike, more of a firm ground. And there's one hill there, though, that's like its own private, small, big hill of sand called blow sand. You can actually see it from an airplane on approach to San Diego airport when you're coming in. It flies right over it. And I've seen it a few times when I've flown in. You come over Palm Springs and Ocotillo Wells and you can see blow sand. It's a big yellow area down there with all this sand. And I could just see the cramper parked and camping out there. I'll be there for a while. And meeting people and going around and showing you guys what I used to do. No doubt I'm going to see sand rails. It's the season. And get on the e-bikes where I can get out there down these washes and trails and stuff. Oh, yeah, that's destination. That's my destination. I got to go there. Yeah, this is a timer. It keeps doing that. These Toyotas are smart. They're like, you know, I'm not going to let the battery go dead on you, Baker. So the travel won't be to California. I'm too afraid to reach out that far at this point on this first leg because I have to be back to the doctor to check the pressure in my eye. it's almost like I just want to go back to the old days of procrastinating, like, I'll see tomorrow. I'll see later. No, I have learned, and hell or high water, I'm already going to be a week later than he said he wanted to see me, because he's got something going on the second week. He said, I want to see you in 2 weeks, and then he changed the appointment. He told the guy to change it to 3 weeks because there's something that he's doing. So that's enough. That's far enough away. I've got these eye drops, and I don't know if he's going to say, I need you to continue with that prednisone, or if he's going to say, get off of it after he checks the pressure. Maybe he's going to want me to start doing that exercise where I press in my eye and look up. I have to keep, up on that. But I know that after I take this trip and come back to Boynton Beach, that'll be fun. And that's moving the clock more forward towards much warmer, much closer to spring time, to where I can go anywhere I want to go. Now, I won't be having to hover the lower 48 in my adventure. And so there'll be so much travel, you'll get tired of it. No, you won't, because I won't either. Another destination I want to go to is, people are talking about that Quartzsite, Arizona. If you don't know about Quartzsite, Arizona, it is a Woodstock right now. It is a Woodstock until it gets hot. It is a place where every RVer that has any kind of an RV, from squatters to millionaire diesel pushers, hold on, converge into this area near Tucson that is free. It's BLM land, Bureau of Land Management. And you just squat anywhere you want. You go out there. And the reason that people go there is all these RVers around the United States that can't afford to come to Florida, or it's already sold out and booked, all these RV places. And there's only one or two places in the entire country during the winter, especially during the peak of winter, that people can go without worrying about their lines freezing, without them freezing, and can enjoy, some sort of, outdoor life while they full-time RV. So they have found this place. Now, the word got out. YouTubers made YouTube videos, just like everything, just like Glamis when we used to go to the desert back in the day. And they started charging people. The word's out, and went from a little town like in Sturgis, when Bike Week is in Sturgis, it goes from like a town of 500 people to 2 million. Quartzsite's the same way. It's a smaller town. They got ice and water and a few stores. Now they're putting together all kinds of little, I want to say the word convention, but things they do, to entertain for the whole winter season. It's organized, and there's even a place you can pay that's not free, that it's dirt cheap, but you get water and trash pickup. I mean, it's like really cheap. So I want to visit that to video it. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I got it. What do you think? I'll spare you. I'll spare you. But I definitely want to video it. I want to see it. Be right back. We're back. And I was thinking, I took a couple of trips in my car. One I took with my sister for 3 weeks, 21 days. We went all the way to California, up Big Sur to Carmel, and then inland through San Jose to the to Lake Tahoe, and you go up through the high Sierra Nevada mountains out of, I think it's called Jackson, California. And I forget the name of the highway. It is the most majestic, beautiful place I went on my Harley by myself too, and through the twisties was fun. And then we did it in a little Hyundai Sonata I bought. Just bought it. I mean, it didn't have 1,000 miles on it. And we took this trip. And we stayed at a Motel 6 every night. We didn't camp like I did on my Harley. This truck wants to get by. He's a big old truck. Let's let him get in there. There you go, buddy. Go ahead. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's backing up to over there. So, when you go up through those mountains and you go to Lake Tahoe, who's been to Lake Tahoe? Who knows what I'm talking about? It's a beach. It's the prettiest lake water you've ever seen. There's a road you can go up around. It's on the California side. The views on the way to Tahoe, up that road I was telling you about out of Jackson, I think it's Jackson, it's just incredible. Between the weather that takes you, that you can't help from notice, the scenery that blows you away. Big Sur, you just come off Big Sur, now you're doing this. You went from the bluffs and the ocean and all those rocks out there and everything. I was going to take PCH one time, Pacific Coast Highway, all the way up to Washington, up through Oregon. There's so many places in our country, folks, that are so beautiful that when you drive with a car, instead of flying to a resort, you know, like to Jamaica or something, yeah, it's all great. It's fun. But we have such a beautiful country. And to be an RVer and have a little teardrop or a big Class C or a big diesel pusher, whatever, and drive to where you can sleep and camp and be in these beautiful, majestic places rather than, all right, I saw it, now let's go 100 miles from here and find a room, you know, or whatever, go into town. But to breathe it and live it 24 hours a day. And I'll liken that to how when I was a NASCAR buff, here's you an analogy. Another part of me you don't know about, I've never talked about. We'll talk about it more on another video. When I left Florida one time and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, I was right near the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And you don't live in North Carolina or Charlotte and not know about or get into NASCAR. The track is there. It's like the home of all the NASCAR drivers. Well, when I went to my first NASCAR race, I learned and met some people that go to the infield. Every NASCAR race, if you look at the Daytona 500 today, look at the aerial pictures every time they show the cars going around from aerial. Look at the Woodstock camped out in the infield. Half of it is pop-ups and tents and truck camping, and half of it is RVs. The reason it's segregated is they don't want big RVs to obstruct views of people that just have a truck or a tent. So they have the lower profile vehicles on one half and the RVs on the other. But my point is, when you go to the infield, there's a tunnel you go through to get in there, you know, and you go in a day before the race begins. They open the tunnel and allow these people to arrive and go in and set up, and you are there 24/7. Are you with me so far? You're there. The people that sit in those stands, the 2 million people, the jam-packed stadium, every seat's full, and they're roaring, they're having a good time, rooting for they show up race day a few hours, an hour before, whatever, they claim their seat, they get their cooler, they got their beer, they got their soda, whatever, their sandwich, they're sitting there in that little seat shoulder to shoulder, and they're waiting for the flag to drop, and they're looking for, you know, all the excitement and the crashes that'll no doubt happen, and all of the excitement that makes NASCAR the second largest spectator sport in the world, only to world soccer. And then they go home. They show up, they park, they go in, they're excited, they watch it, they get in their car, they sit in a parking lot in traffic for hours, and they finally get home. And they talk about what a great time they had. I would show up a day, I think even it was 2 days before in Charlotte back in those days, before the race, set up camp, cook out. In those days I drank, and I drank my share. Drank, ate, partied, walked around, met people. There wasn't a stranger in there. Everything that was yours was theirs, and everything that was theirs was yours. And everybody was wearing their numbered shirt, you know, and their hats for whatever, who they pulled for, Ford or Chevy. This was even before, I think, Toyota got into the racing. And it was all about Dale Earnhardt or hate him before he got killed, or it was this one or that one. All these famous NASCAR drivers, this is when I went, that are retired or have passed away, and they're now their kids or other these young drivers have come up. I don't even know who they are anymore. But the point I'm trying to make in my story is we would live and breathe this race 24/7. And even at night, although we finally did bed down and get some sleep, they were going it's like Vegas. It was 24 hours a day in that infield. There was something going on. Somebody that wasn't in bed yet. And they would come in with these pickup trucks and they'd build these platforms. They'd take out drill guns and screws, and they would literally bring wood and build up a stand so that during the race they could have a ladder to go up, and they'd get on top of these platforms that they would build in the infield when they got there. Because they couldn't go in the tunnel, and you couldn't go down the road with something like that because it could blow off. They just made a very strong scaffolding structure to get up on so they can see them go around the track. And you can never really at Daytona see them go all the way around because it's a 2.5 mile track. So you can only see them when they come around either turn 1, 2, 3, or 4, you know? Anyway, back to the story. You're living it 24/7, and you wake up in the morning and it's making the breakfast. You can smell the bacon and the sausage and the eggs and whatever. People ate better than they did at home. I've seen people bring weed whackers and mow the grass in there. They take this crime tape stuff and rope off their own little area. Claim it. You could get an outhouse delivered, so you didn't have to go find one, that you paid, and you'd have 3 or 4 campers would chip in on it, and you'd put a lock on it, and you would have your own outhouse in your little area there in the infield. Folks, it was creative. It was magical. It was exciting. And this is what I'm saying about the camper. You go to the Grand Canyon and you park it on the south rim and you crawl out of mine, and there's the canyon. I'm going to go back today with my 2-day pass, and I'm going to look at it again or walk around. I can sit there, I can make dinner, breakfast. In Tahoe, you know, there's a campground right there. There's some hotels too, but and be right there on Lake Tahoe. I camped there. I did, with the tent. Ocotillo Wells. If you don't have something to sleep in or have an RV or a tent, you know, that's a pretty primitive area there. It's a desert. And to have water and sleeping quarters, a generator, let it run all day. Hell, these guys running these sand rails, if they wake up at 2 in the morning and decide they want to go out and blast, they don't worry about the engine noise or whatever. This is what it's about. A generator is going to make anybody mad. Folks, I'm going to do all that. I'm going to bring it to you. You're going to witness it. I'm not blowing smoke up your rear. I'm telling you how it's going to be done, and you're going to want to do it too, because it isn't going anywhere. And you can do everything that I'm going to do. Live vicariously through me. Get excited. Live your day. Live your life. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't say you're going to do it later. Get your free money. Quit that prison job. Get out of debt and start to live and crush it.